Hello and welcome to Quiz Time. My name is Ellen and I'll be your host today. We have 100 questions on general knowledge in this quiz. So let's get started. Don't forget to tell us how you did in the comments at the end. Which computer system was the first to feature a mouse and graphical user interface? IBM System 360, Xerox Alto, or the PDP-2? Xerox Alto. Which French fashion designer was also credited with popularizing the pantsuit? Christian Dior, Pierre Cardin, or Yves Saint Laurent? Yves Saint Laurent. Which composer revolutionized musical theater with the hit West Side Story? Leonard Bernstein, Stephen Sondheim, or Andrew Lloyd Webber? Leonard Bernstein. True or false? Renzo Piano's design of the Centre Pompidou in Paris became a symbol of high-tech architecture. This is true. Which Japanese art movement of the 60s was led by artists like Hiro Yoshihara, Gutai Group, Mono-ha, or Superflat? Gutai Group. Which scientific project aimed to locate extraterrestrial signals using large radio telescopes? Project Blue Book, SETI, or the Voyager program? SETI. Which automotive innovation became a defining feature of Cadillac cars and American luxury vehicles? Airbags, tail fins, or power steering? Tail fins. Which British invasion band was known for its pioneering use of sitar and Eastern musical influences? The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, or The Who? The Beatles. Which 1950s scientific discovery led to the development of the first oral contraceptive pill? Discovery of DNA, penicillin development, or isolation of progesterone? Isolation of progesterone. What 1950s fashion trend influenced by Dior's new look emphasized a fitted waist and voluminous skirts? The swing dress. What German artist was a key figure in the Fluxus movement? Joseph Beuys. Which novel by J.G. Ballard explores a world in which society has collapsed into chaos and violence? Crash, High Rise, or The Drowned World? High Rise. Which Italian film director was known for his surreal and dreamlike works in the 1960s, such as 8½, Luchino Visconti, Michelangelo Antonioni, or Federico Fellini? Federico Fellini. Which environmental book by Rachel Carson is credited with advancing the global environmental movement? Silent Spring, The Population Bomb, or The Limits to Growth? Silent Spring. Which British artist painted the iconic work A Bigger Splash in 1967? Peter Blake, David Hockney, or Richard Hamilton? David Hockney. Which technological innovation by Intel co-founder Gordon Moore led to exponential growth in computing power? Transistor, integrated circuit, or Moore's law? Moore's law. Which painting by Jackson Pollock became an icon of abstract expressionism? Lavender Mist, Blue Poles, or Number 5? Lavender Mist. Which photographic art style focused on the constructed nature of identity and media? Documentary photography, conceptual photography, or street photography? Conceptual photography. Which social science theory proposed by Thomas Kuhn introduced the idea of paradigm shifts in scientific progress? No multiple choice here. The structure of scientific revolutions. Which African American artist's works reflected on urban life? Jean-Michel Basquiat, Romare Bearden, or Jacob Lawrence? Romare Bearden. Which literary movement challenged social norms? Modernism, Beat Generation, or Harlem Renaissance? Beat Generation. What Italian composer's 1960s film scores for spaghetti westerns are widely regarded as some of the best film music ever composed? Ennio Morricone. Which tech breakthrough by John Bardeen, William Shockley, and Walter Brattain led to the invention of the transistor? Integrated circuit, semiconductor, or diode? Semiconductor. Which American artist's works included large-scale canvases with bold stripes, spots, and other geometric forms? Frank Stella, Ellsworthy Kelly, or Jasper Johns? Ellsworthy Kelly. Which architectural group exploded radical design ideas and dystopian urban visions? Superstudio, Archigram, or Team X? Superstudio. What photographer's series, Untitled Film Stills, explored themes of gender identity and media representation? No multiple choice here. Cindy Sherman. Which artist was known for his 1970s paintings that addressed the trauma and history of post-war Germany? Sigmar Polk, Anselm Kiefer, or George Baselitz? Anselm Kiefer. Which musical style originating in Jamaica gained global popularity? Ska, reggae, or calypso? Reggae. Which American sculptor created large-scale works using discarded materials? Louise Nevelson, Alexander Calder, or David Smith? Louise Nevelson. What American novel by Toni Morrison explores themes of slavery and the haunting legacy it leaves behind? Beloved. Which American conceptual artist's works often involved written instructions? Sol LeWitt, Yoko Ono, or Bruce Nauman? Sol LeWitt. Which French New Wave filmmaker was known for his innovative camera techniques? Francois Truffaut, Jean-Luc Godard, or Eric Romer? Jean-Luc Godard. Which British band, formed in 1962, is often regarded as one of the most influential rock bands in history? The Beatles, Led Zeppelin, or the Rolling Stones? The Rolling Stones. What art group sought to challenge traditional art by exploring the space between art and life? Cobra, Gutai Group, or Nouveau Realism? Nouveau Realism. Which album by David Bowie was heavily influenced by the Berlin music scene and electronic sounds? Ziggy Stardust, Low, or Aladdin Sane? Low. Which artist's works often involve performance, music, and experimental film? Nam June Paik, Laurie Anderson, or Yoko Ono? Yoko Ono. Which artist was known for her Infinity Net paintings? Yayoi Kusama, Louise Bourgeois, or Georgia O'Keeffe? Yayoi Kusama. Which Italian film director was famous for his influential works that often depicted the struggle of the poor in post-war Italy? Federico Fellini, Vittorio De Sica, or Michelangelo Antonioni? Vittorio De Sica. Which architectural trend saw the rise of buildings designed with glass and steel? Modernism, international style, or postmodernism? International style. Which photographer became famous for her provocative, often unsettling portraits of marginalized individuals? Diane Arbus, Annie Leibovitz, or Dorothea Lange? Diane Arbus. Which novel by E.L. Doctorow blends historical and fictional characters, focusing on early 20th century America? The Book of Daniel, Billy Bathgate, or Ragtime? Ragtime. What American poster artist created psychedelic concert posters for bands like the Grateful Dead and Jefferson Airplane? Rick Griffin. Which TV show was groundbreaking for its portrayal of a strong female lead in a comedic role? The Mary Tyler Moore Show, I Love Lucy, or Bewitched? I Love Lucy. What art critic coined the term post-painterly abstraction? Clement Greenberg. Which 1970s song by Queen, combining rock, opera, and ballad styles, became one of the most famous and unconventional hits of its time? We Will Rock You, Somebody to Love, or Bohemian Rhapsody? Bohemian Rhapsody. What art technique, often used by artists like Robert Rauschenberg, involved combining everyday objects with traditional art materials? Assemblage. Which British artist, known for his provocative works in the 1960s, used pin-up imagery to challenge notions of beauty and the male gaze? Richard Hamilton, Alan Jones, or David Hockney? Alan Jones. Which 1950s song by Elvis Presley became one of his biggest hits? Heartbreak Hotel, Hound Dog, or Jailhouse Rock? Hound Dog. Which novel by Tom Wolfe explored the lives of astronauts in the early space program? Bonfire of the Vanities, Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test, or The Right Stuff? The Right Stuff. Let's go to question 50. What 1950s American abstract painter was known for his zip paintings? Barnett Newman. Which French composer was known for his avant-garde electronic music and collaboration with architect Le Corbusier? Yanis Xenakis. Which American sitcom depicted the working class struggles of a factory worker and became known for its portrayal of blue-collar life? All in the Family, Laverne and Shirley, or Good Times? Good Times. Which song by the Beatles, influenced by Indian music, introduced Western audiences to the sitar? Norwegian Wood, Eleanor Rigby, or Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds? Norwegian Wood. What dance style, characterized by rapid spins and elaborate footwork, became popular in discos across the world? The Hustle. Which play by Arthur Miller was an allegory for the anti-communist hysteria of McCarthyism? Death of a Salesman, The Crucible, or All My Sons? The Crucible. Which sculptor became famous for his large-scale kinetic sculptures? Gene Tingley, George Rickey, or Alexander Calder? George Rickey. Which Italian designer was known for his playful and ironic furniture designs? Ettore Sottsass, Gio Ponti, or Carlo Scarpa? Ettore Sottsass. Which American bandleader was known for his jazz innovation and for conducting the Time Out album featuring the song Take 5? Duke Ellington, Dave Brubeck, or Count Basie? Dave Brubeck. What book by Hunter S. Thompson is a classic example of gonzo journalism? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Which jazz saxophonist was known for his innovative work in bebop and hard bop, and for albums like Giant Steps? Charlie Parker, Cannonball Adderley, or John Coltrane? John Coltrane. Which director was known for his controversial and provocative films, including Salò or The 120 Days of Sodom? Pier Pasolini, Federico Fellini, or Bernardo Bertolucci? Pier Paolo Pasolini. Which guitarist developed the first multi-track recording device, revolutionizing the music industry? Les Paul, Leo Fender, or Gibson Marshall? Les Paul. Which American pop artist created the iconic Love sculpture, featuring stacked letters with a tilted O? Robert Indiana, James Rosenquist, or Jasper Johns? Robert Indiana. Which album by the Beach Boys included hits like God Only Knows and Wouldn't It Be Nice? Surfin' USA, Pet Sounds, or Smile? Pet Sounds. What Japanese film by Akira Kurosawa is considered one of the greatest cinematic achievements, influencing countless filmmakers globally? Seven Samurai. Which protest song by Bob Marley and the Wailers became an anthem for peace and equality? No Woman No Cry, Get Up Stand Up, or Redemption Song? Get Up Stand Up. Which art critic introduced the concept of the white cube? Clement Greenberg, Brian O'Doherty, or Harold Rosenberg? Brian O'Doherty. Which Soviet spacecraft was the first to successfully land on another planet, sending back data from Venus? Venera 7, Luna 3, or Mars 1? Venera 7. What 1970s science fiction film directed by George Lucas became a pop culture phenomenon with its groundbreaking special effects and epic storytelling? Star Wars. Let's move on to question 70. Which architect is best known for designing the futuristic TWA Flight Center at JFK Airport? Frank Lloyd Wright, Eero Saarinen, or Richard Neutra? Eero Saarinen. Which Canadian rock band was known for its complex arrangements? Rush, Triumph, or Saga? Rush. What was the primary purpose of the Mariner 4 mission launched by NASA in 1964? To take the first pictures of Mars. Which company introduced the first handheld calculator in the 1960s? Hewlett-Packard, Texas Instruments, or Casio? Texas Instruments. Which computer programming language was released, designed specifically for business applications? COBOL, Basic or Fortran? COBOL. What product did the Whirlpool Corporation unveil in the 1960s as a futuristic home appliance? Home garbage compactor. The Pulsar watch was unique for being the first of what kind? Waterproof watch, solar-powered watch, or digital watch with LED display? Digital watch with LED display. Which beverage was famously marketed as the Uncola? 7-Up, Sprite, or Mountain Dew? Seven Up. What was the name of the high-profile train that started operating in Japan in the 1960s, revolutionizing travel? Shinkansen. Which disease saw the first major vaccine introduced in the 1960s, significantly reducing its global spread? Measles, rubella, or chickenpox? Rubella. What was the first soft drink to be consumed in space? Tang, Coca-Cola, or Pepsi? Coca-Cola. Question 81. Which children's toy became famous for its ability to record and play back sounds? Speak and Spell, Teddy Ruxpin, or See and Say? See and Say. What significant kitchen invention did Earl Tupper introduce in the 60s that changed food storage? Tupperware. The miracle on ice referred to a shocking victory in which sport? Hockey, basketball, or ski jumping? Ski jumping. Which major world fair is remembered for debuting many technological innovations like touch-tone phones and the Ford Mustang? The New York World's Fair. Which famous American amusement park first opened its doors in the 1960s? Six Flags Over Texas, Disneyland, or Universal Studios? Six Flags Over Texas. What snack food became popular due to its unique texture and taste, known as a cheese curl? Cheetos. What was the name of the iconic doll that could grow its hair by turning a knob on its back? Chatty Cathy, Barbie, or Chrissy? Chrissy. True or false? The 60s World Series introduced the first instant replay technology on TV. False. Army-Navy football game in the 60s. What was the name of the first human spaceflight mission to use a computer for onboard guidance? Apollo 8. Which U.S. city hosted the first Super Bowl in 1967? Los Angeles, Miami, or New Orleans? Los Angeles. What was introduced in 1963 that dramatically increased the efficiency of the U.S. Postal Service? The zip code system, automated sorting machine, or air mail services? The zip code system. Which innovative airline service targeted low-cost international travel? Concorde, Southwest Airlines, or Laker Airways? Laker Airways. Which brand introduced the first soft contact lenses? Johnson & Johnson, Bausch & Lomb, or Cooper Vision? Bausch & Lomb. What environmental device was developed to reduce automobile emissions? Catalytic converter, carbon filter, or exhaust valve? Catalytic converter. What major engineering feat was completed in 1964 that connected mainland New York to Long Island? The Verrazano Narrows Bridge. What household product was introduced by Dow Chemical Company in the 60s? Aluminum foil, plastic wrap, or Ziploc bags? Ziploc bags. Which type of credit card was first issued in 1966, revolutionizing the way people paid for goods? Visa, MasterCard, or American Express? MasterCard. Which company released the first widely used type of disposable razor? Schick, Bic, or Gillette? Gillette. Which instrument allowed scientists to observe individual atoms for the first time? Scanning microscope, transmission microscope, or atomic force microscope? Transmission microscope. And for question 100, what was the name of the first commercial communications satellite? Telstar. Okay, thanks for playing this quiz. Drop your score in the comments below and please hit that like button, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.